So hi everyone, I am Dafa, and today I'll be guiding you guys through this tutorial to compute raw datas with Excel. And today we've got a few datas here sent by my lecturer to be processed and computed. So here we have range of datas of motivation strategies for learning, and we have a few variables here. We've got class and score. So we have datas from ranging from class A to class E down here at the bottom, 154. And today we're about to compile or process the data that is the class C data, that is ranging from number 62 until number 91. And then we were actually told to analyze manually the data using descriptive statistics by first calculating measure of central tendency, which are the mean, the median, and also the mode. And then second is to calculate measure of variability from range, quartiles, variance, and of course standard deviation. And then the third is to draw the polygon, which is a simple graph that represent the whole data. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into our Excel. And here we are in our Excel here. This is a blank workbook or blank sheet for us to work with, and apparently I have downloaded the file for our tutorial today. This is the file here. Wait a minute. Now this is the file here, the raw data of motivation strategies, right? So we're just going to copy the file that we needed, which is the class C over here from number 62 until number 91. Here, there we go. We've got number, and we're about to just move it to this blank worksheet here. There we go. We've got all of them here. Now, what are we going to do today is that, or what am I going to do today is that I'm going to create a simple table which consists of score. I'm just gonna use X as its symbol, and then we've got frequency, which wait a minute, I'm going to use F for its symbol, and then we're also going to use X times F, which is the combination between score and frequency to find the value. And then of course we're going to add X minus mean, which is the average, because we need this data to help us find the variance and standard deviation. And then we're going to create another one, which is X minus mean, but this one it should be squared. Basically it has this apostrophe. And then of course we're going to also add this last file here, which is X mean squared. There we go. So what does these title do, or what do they mean, is that this data basically stands for to help us track it helps us tracking the data that we gathered. So this is why I made them, because it helps us in the way that we needed it to be. So yeah, I'm just going to copy this table here, which are the raw data. I'm gonna put it down in the score, and then boom, we've got the whole score over here. But there's something else that we have to do, which is to sort them out, because this is very scattered, right? The data isn't being sorted out right. You could see that the first value is 121 and the second value is 135, which is not being sorted at all. So what do we have to do is that we're going to come here to the data ribbon, and then now we're going to find something also known as sort. We are going to use smallest to largest sort. I'm just gonna press it down here, and then we've got this warning. I'm just going to go with the second option, which is continue with the current selection. Press sort, and we have not sorted out this yet, but we can redo that. There we go. So if this happens, as you can see, this is it's wrong, right? You have to, the lowest data actually started from 119, not 121. So what you have to do is that you can just block the data again, and then you press the same sort button here. I'm using smallest largest. I'm just press it down again, and then continue with the current selection, sort again, and there we go. Now it's corrected. So you might have noticed that the data are actually being duplicated. There are 119, which that's the frequency, right? But in a score, we only needed the raw score, or like the value of it. So what are we going to do is that we're going to block them all, and then we're going to come here to this button which says remove duplicates here. I was gonna press it down, and then there will be like warning pop-up, and we're just going to go with this second option, which is continue with the current selection. There we go. And then yes, score X, column score X. Okay. Now we have lost 7 duplicates values, which means that we only have 23 unique values. That's what we needed. This is what we needed, right? Now I'm just going to create a proper like table. So I'm just gonna put all borders around here. Now we've got borders now, and then here I'm just going to start filling up these tables as well. So the first one is that we're about to fill in frequency. So to fill this table, first of all, we can use this raw data here. I would like to sort it out because it makes it a lot less of an eyesore. So I'm just going to do it twice over here. There we go. It's completely sorted out from smallest to largest. And then now what are we going to do is that we're going to put in the formula, which is equals, and then open, what is it in English? I'm just gonna use this symbol here, and then wait okay, we're about to type in count if, right? I'm sorry, I should be putting in count if, and then here I'm just gonna start the first. I'm just gonna add these open first, and then I'm going to put the first range at here, which is A1. This is the first one, and then this is the end. That, and then you add comma. This is the comma that you have to add, and then you add this. Wait a minute. You also add this. Whoa. I think that's wrong. So I'm going to add the criteria and that first. But we're going to add this here. Right, doesn't work. Wait a minute. Let me get it right. Perhaps this is the one that we needed. I'm just gonna put the number here. Oh yeah, we need to use that. I'm sorry, I should have used this symbol here. So I'm just gonna write down the formula so you guys can understand it easily. So this is the number here. The A1 stands for the start, and then the A30 is the end. So this whole section is being blocked by the numbers, and then this criteria here is basically what we are looking for. So the logic is that we are looking for any number that has the value of 119 in this area of blockage here, and we're just going to put enter, and voila, we've got 3. So it says 3 because obviously we've got 119 values here, here, and here. So it basically does the counts for us, which is great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy the formula down here by just dragging this icon here. This is the cross icon. This is a different cross icon compared to this, right? As you can see, I'm going to drag it down until here, and voila, we've got them all. So now at the bottom we can create a table also known as the total. I'm just gonna write down the total first over here. I'm gonna add that sign, and then we're about to create the total. So to create the total, we don't have to count it manually, but we can use a command or a formula which is called sum. So I'm gonna type sum, and then I'm gonna add an open range like this, and I'm gonna block the first one, which is the top, and then we can drag it down here like this, or you can type it, but I personally use drag because it's much simpler. And then I'm gonna close this range. Here we go, boop, and we got 30, which is accurate because obviously you can see we have 30 right on the left here. We only have 30 data, and then the result of the frequency is 30, which means we are doing it correctly. And we're going to move on to the second table, which is XF. So XF means X times F. That is the meaning of the symbols here. Basically, it's score times frequency. So all we have to do is that we do a similar thing as sum, but in this case, we're going to create a new formula. I'm just gonna put open range, and then we're about to put the score here inside. I've blocked that, and then now we're going to add the star symbol, and then we're going to add this as the second variable that I'm going to put here, the D4 and C4, and then I'm going to close the range, enter, and boom, we got the value here. Now we're going to do the same. We're going to drag it down from here, from right bottom cross, and I'm going to drag it down here. Nice, we've got all the numbers being calculated. Basically, these are the score times frequency per row. So every row is being counted automatically by Excel, and then of course I'm going to drag this as well to create another sequences of same calculation. So we've got the data over here. It says 4086, and then now what we are going to do is that we have this, right? We have both of these values. So this is the XF, and this is the frequency, and that actually means that we can find the mean. So I'm just gonna create the table here, which is the measures of central tendencies. Alright, let me just get it like this, and I merge them, and then of course we can create a much wider column like this. There we go. So I'm gonna add the first one. It's gonna be mode. Well, I'm just gonna put mean. Okay, I'm just gonna put mean, and then median, and of course mode. So this is gonna be the manual, right? So I'm gonna put another title which says that it is manual, because we're doing this manually, but we can of course do the same like automatically with Excel. So I'm gonna create another table here just to make sure that we can compare the results between in Excel and of course and throughout manual measurements as well. So first one is we're going to count the mean. The mean, basically, it is the total value of this, which is the XF divided by the frequency. So to do this, it's quite simple. We're just going to create another formula here. That's equal, and then you add an open range. I'm gonna start it out from here, which is the higher value. Then I'm going to add this, which is the dividing, which is the that is slash, or like basically, a line here, and then I'm going to press this is the frequency total, and then I'm going to put the close range, enter, and we've got the mean. It's 136.2. Now we can see the numbers like the behind this by dragging it like this, but it seems like we've got the right number, and we can compare that to the Excel way, which means that we can just do this by typing equal and average. Of course, wait a minute, should be average, and then we can create an open range. I'm gonna block the raw files here. I'm gonna close it down, and yeah, we have the same data, so that means we're doing this right. And as for median, how to find median is that we can count this data over here. We got 30 datas. We can basically find the middle in this data by dividing 30 by 2, which means that we've got 15. But because we have we don't have an odd, right? We basically have the even numbers here. We got 30 data, which means that we have to use number 15 and 16 as the two possible median. So what are we going to do is that we're going to basically create another formula over here, open range, and then we're about to add this, and then plus or across, and this as well, and then you're gonna close it down. You add another slash 2 and equal or enter. So we've got the median. Median is 136. So the logic behind it is that because we have even numbers, we have to use number 15 and the one above number 15, which is number 16. So we're going to use both numbers, and then we're going to divide it by 2, and this is the result, 136. I'm going to compare that with the Excel result, which is median. I'm going to type median. I'm going to block. Okay, I'm going to open range first, and I'm going to block this raw data again. Close it down, enter, and we got the same number, which is good. We're doing just fine. About mode is pretty easy. We're just looking at the data here, and then we're just going to look for which one has the most frequency, which is obviously here 119. It has 3 frequency compared to 2 and 1 frequency. It has 3 frequencies, compared to 1 and 2 frequencies. Now I'm just gonna put it this way, equal, and then I'm gonna press the data here and it's enter. There we go. We've got I should have been using this. Okay, sorry. This is the data we're looking for. So the mode is 119. I'm gonna compare that with the Excel results. I'm just gonna use the formula, which is equal and then mode. It doesn't matter if we're using mode or multi or single, it's still the same anyway. So you can just use mode, and then you open range. I'm gonna block this data again. Remember, we have to use the raw data, not here, not the one in here. We're going to use the data over here. So I'm gonna close the range, and then it's the same, 119. So we're doing this fine. Everything is correct. All right, so we're moving on to the next table, which is the x minus mean. So to do this, it's pretty simple. We're doing the same logic or the same calculation similar to the ones in XF. We're basically going to get the number from the x, which is here, 119, and then we're going to add minus, and of course we're going to get the mean from here. You press that, you close it, boom, we got a number. So we're going to pull the number down like this, and there we go. But it seems like we've got it wrong, because basically what's wrong is that the data over here, it basically goes down. So as you can see, instead of using the mean, it actually goes down, and that is wrong because we should have been using the same thing. So what to do is that we can basically add dollar sign over here. You add dollar sign on this coordinates, which is k5. You're gonna add $sign before the k and also before the number 5, like that. And then we can do the same, basically pulling down the formula over here, and boom, we've got the right formula. See, it looks much more comprehensible and it's actually accurate. And then what else are we going to do is that we're going to add the x mean squared, which is basically it's the same number being multiplied by the same number. So we're just going to use this here. There we go. So f4, which is this data being multiplied by this data as well, and I'm just gonna enter it. There we go, we've got the first one. And then I'm going to do the same, drag it down here, and we've got the number. Alright, so what else are we supposed to do now? I guess fx mean. Alright, so we've got this data, which is the x mean squared, and then we're going to multiply it by the frequency over here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to create the first formula, which is that we're going to take this frequency here and then star to create a multiply section, and then we're going to put this one here, the x mean squared data. Now I'm just going to put enter, and here we go, we've got the first one, and drag it down again. Here we go, we've got the whole data over here. So alright, we've got the table here, which is the score, frequency, and then score times frequency, and of course we also got x minus mean, and then x minus mean squared, and we've also got f times x minus mean squared. So we've got all the data over here, right? We already found the measures of central tendencies as well. So what we're going to do is that we're going to find the range, the quartiles, variance, and of course standard deviation, or also known as the measure of variability. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to this measure of variability. There we go. We're also going to create another one. Wait, it should have been here, I think. I'm just gonna drag it down. Hey, move. Why won't move it way? Okay, it wouldn't move. Okay, anyway. I think I've done it wrong. There we go. Okay, there we go. My bad, my bad. I'm sorry, my bad. This is the manual, and then we're going to create the Excel one as well, and I'm going to merge the data like this, merge the like that, okay, and then we're going to create some of these as well, these borders as well. Well, we don't need them, but yeah, I'm just gonna add the borders anyway. It looks kind of neat, so I'm gonna add them as well here and here. Okay, wait a minute, let me get the numbers. And of course, I'm going to add the color as well. Color, another color. There we go, the font is supposed to be black. And then, oh yeah, I almost forgot. I'm going to add some coloring here just to make sure it looks a lot more standing out like this, for example. There we go, it looks much better. And now we have the measures of variability, which are the range, and then as for the quartiles, I'm just gonna add it on its own, like on its own table. Okay, variance, and of course standard deviation. We also got the variance here, and then standard deviation. Alright. We've got these data sets here. So to find range, we can basically find the highest data minus lowest data. So what we're about to do is that I'm just gonna use the formula, which is equal and then open range, we're gonna add the highest value or score here, which is 158, and then I'm gonna add minus the lowest, which is 119. I'm gonna add close the range and then enter. The range is 39, so that's the range. Now we're also going to use the Excel way of doing it, which is by creating this, and then you type range. No, you don't type range actually. I forgot the I forgot it, but perhaps I'm gonna look for it. Wait a minute. Okay, so I just find out that I don't think we've got anything. I don't think we've got any like Excel way of finding the range, but as far as I know, it's the formula is pretty simple. You're just going to go with the highest number, and then you're going to decrease that with the lowest number, which is here. So basically, it's 158 minus 119, and that's the result is 139. Result is 39. That's the result. And then for variance, we can also use the data that we've got, which is the x mean over here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to create a formula, and then in this formula I'm going to put this data here, which is the fx mean squared, and then I'm going to divide this by a unique number, which is the total frequency minus 1. So I'm gonna put that, close range, enter. We've got the variance here. This is the variance. Now this is the variance that we have, which is 136.99. And then as for standard deviation, it's basically this, but in square root. So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna type in the formula, which is sqrt square root. I'm gonna open the range. I'm gonna add this data here, close it down, enter, and we've got the standard deviation as well. So we've got the standard deviation, and then we've got variance, range. Now what we have to do is that we're going to create the quartiles. Quartiles. Here we've got the Q1, Q2, and Q3. So what we're supposed to do is that we're going to use the formula, which is we're going to find the placement of the quartiles first. So I'm going to use the formula, which is for Q1 we're about to use, I think this is the number, right? We're going to use quarter, I think. Quarter, and then times, it is 30 minus 1. Alright. Or plus 1. I don't remember. I think it's plus 1, perhaps. Wait a minute. Oh, it's okay, it should be 1. Wait a minute, let me get it right. I think it's 30 plus 1. Okay, so it should be 30 plus 1. Okay, there we go. So the logic is that we're going to use quarter, and then times the 30 comes from here, the amount of frequency we have, and then plus 1, it is in the formula. Now I'm just gonna copy this formula here to the other columns here, but we're going to switch up the numbers. Like this one is 2/4, and then this one we're going to use 3/4, like this. So we've got them all. So what are we going to do is that we're going to find out the position of 7.75. So in this, it would be around somewhere right here, which is like the 8. It should be like around 7 or 8, but I think I'm just gonna go with 8 because we're going to round out the numbers. It's like this. See, it's gonna be 8. So I'm gonna use the formula again. I'm gonna take number from here, and that's Q1. And then for Q2, we have 15.5. So again, with some changes. We're going to take the 16th position, because if you round it up like this, okay, wait, okay, wrong, here it is, it's gonna be 16, so it's gonna be position 16. This is what we're doing manually. Okay, so as for Q3, the closest number to this, it would be 23. So we're going to get the position number 23, which is this one over here. That's gonna be the Q3. So we've got the Q1, Q2, and Q3. This is the Q1, Q2, and Q3. And then I'm gonna compare that to the ones that we have in Excel. So we actually have the we've also got the same we also got like the same data that we can use. So I'm gonna wait a minute. Okay, my bad. I think I've done something wrong. Let me get it straight. Okay, so I'm gonna show the real data here, drag it back like this, and then okay, so I'm gonna clear out these first. I'm gonna find the Q1 by typing quartile. Here the exe, it should be fine. Sorry about to put the numbers. No, this one. I'm gonna put this number first. Perhaps I think I've used the wrong number, by the way. Wait a minute. Let me get the. Okay, wait. Let me get. I suppose we're supposed to use this one. The array and a quart. Okay, so I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna type. We want to see the Q1, so I'm gonna type 1 here. See, it's the same, 128.25. And then I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna drag it down like this. Drag it to right. I mean. Okay, I should have done it different way. Okay, I'm just gonna type. I'm just gonna copy that. I'm gonna copy that and paste it here. Instead of 1, I'm gonna use 2, which is the here the Q2, and then we're going to do the same here. I'm gonna type the same thing, but I'm gonna replace the quart with quart3, which is there. There we go. So this is the Excel. Wait, let me drag it down a bit. So this is the manual. This is the manual way. The manual way, and then we also have the Excel, or the automatic way, the automated way. Right. So the result is pretty similar. Unfortunately, we cannot find like the exact position of these, but we can find the value of them, which is pretty similar, as you can see. And then now we have to create the polygon, or the graph. So to create the graph, we're just going to block the score and frequency over here, and then we're going to go to the insert, and we're going to look for charts. We're going to use scatter. Not this one. No, this one. This one is the scatter. You want to use the scatter lines here, like this, and there we go. We've got the. See, we've got this data right here, which is. I'm just gonna call it data, like that. There we go, and we've got the data being visualized like this. So we have a few people who has 119. We also have a few spikes here at 123 and then 136 and such. But yeah, this is what we're supposed to do, right? So we've done created. Wait a minute. So we've done created. So basically we've done. Okay, so basically we have done created the. Here, this is the table, the essential table, and we also created the manual and the Excel version of the measures of central tendencies. And from a comparison, it's actually the same. And we also got the measure of variability, which unfortunately we cannot show here because I looked for it and it seems like, to my knowledge, I don't know, I couldn't find the right data for it. Perhaps I should have been able to find it, but in my case I could not find it. So I'm gonna clear these out first. No need to add these. There we go, it's gone. So yeah, we have the measure of variability, and we also get the quartiles, whatever. We've got the Q1, Q2, Q3. This one is manual, which are usually rounded up, and then we also got the Excel, which are a lot more precise. It doesn't have any rounding up whatsoever. And we also got the data, or the data graph, which is in the scatter mode. So that is it. I think that is it from me. It's been a pretty lengthy tutorial. I would say it took me about, let me see, I think it's 36 minutes, so I have to probably cut it down so it looks a lot more compact perhaps. But yeah, it's been a while, so it's been me, Dafa, giving you tutorial, and thank you for watching. Thank you for the attention. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and give your thoughts on the comment section below, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.